Howdy, 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 everybody. Well, here we are, end of the month. Let's see if we got the usual suspects sitting over here in the chat. Hey, we got Dwight over here, and we got BNSF 1982. How y'all doing? I'll be there in a second. I gotta get my hula skirt on because it looks like I'm gonna be doing a little table dancing tonight because nobody's jumped in on the panel yet. 3 rail. Yes, sir. Train time. But, see if we can't scare up a few of the usual suspects. Maybe get a couple of new ones in here. If any of you want to jump in, the link is here in the post. All you gotta do is click on it for the panel, and it will bring you over. Pat, how you doing? So, anybody want to join in on the panel? You can see I definitely have room over here. So, yeah, I'm not sure if we got anybody at home or not. This being the summertime, everybody on vacation. I'll give you a rundown on what's going on. The end of the month, like I said just now. This will be the last show of the month. We'll still be doing the Thursday night shows every week. July the 10th is going to be the Fine Scale show. So you want to be sure and watch that because Andy's going to have Phil Wyman back. No, they're going to be doing bushes this time. Probably maybe get into some undergrowth, stuff like that. Then July the 18th. That's going to be another one of Big Bill's installments. He's got Ron Perry up in Canada. He's going to have a talk with him, see what he's up to, what he's doing, see if he won't impart us with a few of his little tips and techniques. So we'll see what's going on there. And that's pretty much all we got planned for July right now. We've got a lot of people on vacation. Ralph is out. Chris is out that does Arduino. They've taken the summer off. Joe into the Locomotive shop. He's taking off the next 2 months. And he's got a little something new coming up. He's working with Bill the track planner on. They'll be doing a few shows there. I think y'all find that pretty interesting. Bill gave us a lot of information on track planning and all. This time the two of them have got together and they're going to put it to the layout. They're going to use Joe's layout. He's going to run the trains and show you exactly how things operate. Bill, as we all know, is freelance, and Joe is prototypical, so you get to watch 2 worlds. And Josh, you're going to start popping in and out on me. You just go ahead and stay out. Because coming in on cell phone doesn't work too good. Nathan, I got your email. I've had a few things going on, but yes, sir, we need to talk. Do you want to come in on Thursday show and show us what you're doing and how you do it? That's great. We'll be glad to do that. You and I have to get together, get you set up on the pier. Doesn't take much. Bill. He's got here, what kind of glue to use to join? I would say the sticky kind, Bill. It all depends on what you're putting together there, Bill. If it's wood or paper, you know, wood glue, paper glue works good. You're doing plastic, use a plastic cement. If you're doing, what is it, those hydrocal buildings, The name eludes me right now. They say epoxy glue works really well on that. About the best to do. Hastings BNSF N-Scale Modeler. How you doing? Dave Piper. Jerry. Glad to see you make it in tonight. If any of y'all want to come in here, be on the panel, you're very welcome to come on in. Just go to the either Facebook or the YouTube post and click on the panel link. You'll may have to do a little short 2-second download that's so Appear knows how to use your camera, knows what kind of camera you got, and they can use it. So, and if you're on a Mac or an Apple, Safari doesn't work that well. You have to use Chrome. Windows or Mac or Apple, you'll have to use Chrome. Thank you, Dwight, for clarifying that for me. Yeah, I'm not quite on my game tonight. Dwight said that I think Bill was telling a joke on how to join the panel. Hey, there's Pat. How you doing, Pat?
Not too bad, Johnny. How's things going?
Not too bad. If you can turn your volume up a little bit, it'd be good. Mic volume.
There you go. How's that?
Oh, that's a lot better. Yes, sir. So how's the move going?
Not too bad. Workstation's almost up and running-ish, kind of.
Yeah. Hey, Sparky. He just joined us on the chat. You're doing HO, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
HO, I've got 20 locomotives and 220-something rolling stock.
Oh, you don't have very much, do you?
Nah.
Yeah.
I've been picking random cars and putting sound cars in them. So, like, my caboose has got a soundtrack decoder. I've got a cattle car and a refrigeration car. So.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. I know they got one commercial refrigerator car out on the market. After about 5 minutes of hearing that on the layout at the store, yeah, everybody's trying to find the off button.
Well, that's the thing is, like, and like I noticed at my club, a lot of people have the volumes real high, and it takes away from it. You got to have it where it's subtle. I don't know, not like background noise, but where it doesn't own the room. You know, there's room for conversation. You can hear other things going on. It's not all trains and rolling stock and everything else.
Yeah, it's true. They do tend to put the volume up pretty high. Sparky's asking, are any of the YTMB going to join me on July 14 at the Steamtown National Historical Site? Don't know, Sparky. I think there's a few of them that said that they were going. I know a couple of them kind of live close by there. You know, you might look out for Barry. He may be around. But, I mean, me personally, I couldn't say, but I hear tell there's usually a pretty good showing of people anyway. But that's not something too many people are going to travel a whole lot of distance to get to. I mean, there are some. You got your usual train nuts, they go everywhere. Oh yeah, I'm sure you're going to meet a lot of people there when you go to Steamtown. Yeah, that's another thing about sound on layouts, Pat, is what's too loud, what's not loud enough. You know,
I think
there's uh
if you can hear it from across the room, that's a little excessive.
yeah, yeah, uh, yeah. A lot of people say you need to go by a 3 foot rule. As long as you're within 3 feet of it and can hear it without it being annoying and hurting your ears, stuff like that, then it's good. I know, of
Well, three
course,
foot.
Andy and a few others have gotten into the Adrenos and other things to do animation. They're going to put in uh, oh, distance sensors. I can't think of the technical name of it right yet. So that when you get to that part of the layout, it trips the sound effects and it comes on. That way, when you move away, it'll go for determined amount of time and then it shuts down, unless it motion sensors. So to trigger that stuff.
That also kind of adds a cool effect to the layout too, because if something, so there's no activity in a section of your layout, there's nothing going on. It's kind of pointless to have, just the white noise of whatever it would be, whether it be, say, a cement plant or anything else that would be running. It would be, nice to see is when the train comes in or when something happens, it comes alive then.
Yeah. Yeah. 3 rail. What kinds of sounds are playing in the caboose?
The caboose is a rail clack, brake squeal, a rail clack, and then upon deceleration, because I run it in concert with whatever my locomotive is. So as you throttle down, you'll hear brake noise. If you hit the emergency stop, or I believe it's F12 on it, you'll hear the air dump. It's got an the EOT or EOD, yeah, EOT, red lamp on the back of it. It'll flash accordingly, and then it also has a firebox flicker. So there's lights and sound that come out of it.
Oh, good. Let's see here. Who was it? EJ&E, Jeff. He said, hi. I like to call it scale decibels. Okay. Hey, Dan, where you been at, dude? He said even 25% of the master sound is too much.
It is for lock sound. I would agree.
Yeah. Yeah, Sparky saying he meets the engine sounds on his layout, I guess during videos, and the train is still loud. You might want to oil the wheels there, Sparky. Yeah, Sparky's saying he does 75%, but then he's half deaf. I could say something funny like, well, he is married. But what have you done any custom sounds, Pat?
My Loke sound, they're semi-custom. They're not the factory. They're all been downloaded and upgraded. Almost all, I think there's 15 Loke sound. Those are all full throttle. They've all been upgraded. So, but as far as anything like a 100% one-off, no. It's a little bit beyond my skill set at this point.
Yeah. We got a fellow here that comes in every now and then. He's pretty active. He's called Brakeman17, and he's taken that Loke sound and reprogrammed one, and he's got it to where you hear the engineer coming up, open the cab door, You know, kind of coming in. Then you hear him open the electrical panels in the cab and start flipping switches, turn power on and everything, and close those up. Then he goes back out, opens up the panel door on the outside, and starts the diesel up. Yeah, and he's gone in. He's actually put backlights on the dash of a Loco on the instrument panel.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's he backlit it. But yeah, he did the usual stuff too. He had the lights on the steps and all that kind of stuff. He's an N scale. He does N scale now. How much of that he does in that? Because the one that he was doing was a HO locomotive for somebody else, for a friend of his. Sparky's asking, what about the end of train devices? I could only find them in HO. Do they make them in other scales? That's a good question. You have any idea, Pat?
No, I'm basically basically an HO guy, so I couldn't. I wouldn't want to steer you wrong.
Three Rail says that they have them in the O scale. Yeah, Sparky thinks the end device on sound cards is the best, he thinks. He must like those sound cards.
They're good as long as the volumes are set right. I mean, like mine, my caboose can be overwhelming. It's got a rather large speaker in it. I went with a larger than a sugar cube. So I mean, it's really a matter of making sure that the volumes are set right, because otherwise they can be real obnoxious.
Yeah. Hey Ralph, how you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Where is everybody today?
I don't know. Where's you? How was your trip you and your wife took?
Oh, it was okay. It was okay. I screwed up my leg though while we were there.
Uh-oh.
I popped something in my knee and I haven't been able to walk properly since. That was a week ago. Yesterday. So I wake up in the morning in pain. Once I start to move a little bit, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I had the dogs out the other day, and Athena, the lab, we have to keep her on a cable because she's a runner. And I was trying to get Blue to play a little bit, and I didn't notice that I was standing on the inside of her cable. And she kicked her ball across the yard, and it was doing 100. She was doing 200 trying to catch it. And then next thing I know, I felt this sharp pain on my right foot. She done snatched that cable right across the top of my foot. I didn't have shoes on. I just had my house shoes on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she cut the top of my foot right there in front of my ankle. And it's right there where my shoes lace up and where you bend your foot when you walk and all. So, yeah, it feels good. Sparky saying, Ralph, that he'll see you in Steamtown on July the 14th. And he said they do have wheelchairs. I think.
Well, I don't think I'll be going to Steamtown. I have very few trips planned in the near future. We have a lot of things happening coming up that I'm going to have to stay home for. So
Yeah.
like where my youngest son is getting married in September. So there's a lot of planning going into that. All kinds of things.
Yeah, the one I got planned is just the NMRA meeting in Kansas, Missouri.
All right.
First weekend of August. Sam Cool, how you doing, dude? How's your summer vacation? I know the school kids don't like the school year down here because now they only get 2 months for vacation and that's it. Andrew, how you doing?
Pretty good. How about you?
Andrew?
Must be sandwich time.
No, it's just some refreshment, that's all.
Yeah. Sparky's over. Yeah, I wish Andy was here so I could poke fun at him. Then Andy pops in. You can.
Different Andy.
No, sorry, Andy.
There he is.
How you doing, Lord?
Doing fine. You, Johnny?
Yeah, not bad. Uh-oh.
I don't know if you can see that or not. That's
Not
that's
very
Primo
well.
setup.
Oh, really?
Hello.
How many modules?
Oh, I haven't counted. There's where I'll be.
I'd say you was going to be the longest straightaway.
Yeah.
I think so.
That's where the bridge is going to be, right?
Yeah. Hey, Sam, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, not bad at all.
So, what's new?
You?
Just a different day.
Yeah?
Different day and more aches and pains.
I mean, I wouldn't understand that, but I can kind of get where you're coming from.
You'll get there.
Yeah.
You just wait. Your turn will come.
Yeah, it will.
Hopefully later than sooner.
Well, see, Bob, Man Cave just went into the chat room. Maybe he'll pop in over here and tell us a little bit more about his one-on-one with scale trains.
Oh yeah.
Did you hear that, the Bob?
Oh, you over there, Lloyd?
Hmm?
Are you over in the other room too?
No.
Oh,
Oh, it's in the other room.
hey, Jamestown 34's got a good one. New day, new thoughts on the layout.
I'm coming up. Jeez. Guys are just...
You're just not fast enough.
Must have took the wrong exit.
Got
He
stuck in
kept
the
trying to
round.
make a left turn on that roundabout.
Yep. I clicked on the wrong link.
Yeah, 3 times around the circle, he got mixed up and got off the wrong exit.
Got dizzy, huh?
Mm-hmm. So what do you want to talk about?
About your one-on-one interview.
Oh yeah, that exclusive. Yeah, it was kind of interesting. Got some new stuff coming out from Scale Trains, of course. You know, Well, there's the GEC 39-8 that they put out in HO. Surprise! And scale.
Yeah.
Same thing with the covered hopper. Some interesting things that worked on camera, but not a whole lot that was really surprising. Just some background things on what they got planned for the next 5 years. Nothing specific, of course, but they do have a 5-year plan of what they plan on doing, what kind of things they're planning on putting out in that 5-year period, and where they want to be financially and influence-wise in the N-scale community and the HO community. Where they want the company to go. And so it's a growing business. They got a new guy, Ian, who's taking over the social media marketing aspect of this company, and we'll start seeing him at train shows in Train Fest in Milwaukee. So, Shane will still be there, Mike will still be there, maybe not as often, but Shane will probably be there most of the time, the big shows. And Ian will be taking over a lot of the other shows too, but he's got a lot of learning to do. It's his first job out of college. So it's sort of an intern.
Yeah.
But a paid intern.
I can hook him up with some videos he'll probably be interested in seeing too.
Yeah.
I'm doing that kind of stuff, commercial marketing and all.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching here lately to try and figure out some stuff for this.
Well, there's always more to learn.
Yeah, there is. Let's see.
They did a lot of rail fanning while they were in the area, just like I was.
Yeah.
And they went out to Echo Canyon and kind of the northern route over to Ogden. They stopped by Ogden again, and the Ogden Railroad Museum, and visited the big blow that they have there, number 26. And they had put a great big, huge logo, a magnetic logo sign of the N-scale convention on the side of it about a month ago, and took pictures of it. So they were going to announce that special run of number 26 for the big blow. They're only making 126 of them. So you have to pre-order. It's like $525. It comes with a pin, a reproduction painting of the artist that made the actual painting that they got of the big blow that you see in all the ads and so forth. And then one package, get a golden ticket, and that golden ticket gets the actual painting. So it's an extra little bonus.
Yeah.
So it's a special run. It's gonna be rare, basically.
Yeah.
Gonna be one of those collectibles that the N-scalers will want to have on hand, and I've got one on order.
Why does that not surprise me?
I said, hey, I can't pass that up. Who's there?
Yeah.
Saw the loco. Oh, it's at a museum. I got to get it now. Saw it.
Yeah. Sam, I don't know if you know this guy or not, but Zane's Trains and Things.
Yeah.
He says, "Hi, Sam. Cool seeing you in the show. Awesome."
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, like we said before, anytime you can make it, just jump right on in here. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been on recently because my computer died like 3 days before final. So it was just like,
Yeah.
and then finally got it back like 2 weeks ago. So it's good.
That's yeah. I get your heart racing right there.
Yeah.
3 days before finals. Everything's
Oh,
done on a
brutal.
computer nowadays anyway, isn't it?
They're handwritten tests, but for English, I had all my notes on my computer, so I couldn't like study. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard saying the dog ate your computer.
That excuse doesn't work anymore.
Nope.
No.
Especially since the teachers probably used that excuse when they were your age.
Oh, it looks like 99 modules, Ralph.
Wow.
What? 99
And
modules?
each one is on the average of 4 feet, right?
I think so, yeah.
What's this for?
It's the Fremo setup for Kansas City.
Oh, yeah, 99 modules?
Yeah.
There's another one that I found out about, the N-Track. It's partially sponsored by Kato. And Kato's building some N-Track modules to include into this one. They're trying to go for a world record number of modules just in N-Track. And so they're gonna, he said they have so many. There's gonna be like 300 miles of track that they have planned.
Huh.
So that's a lot of, well, 300 scale miles, that is. That's a lot of N-scale track. And they're providing a lot of the track for some of these modules they want to add in there. There's also an HON track club. Don't see that very often. So they're going to be there this year.
What, Kansas?
Yeah.
You coming?
Kato, yeah, I'm coming. Yeah, Kato didn't even know there was an HON track or kind of a module setup that anybody was doing. They just thought it was all N scale.
Huh.
So something new they didn't know.
It's surprising they didn't, since they're in the business.
Yeah, well, there's like no one's asked them for anything. No, they haven't seen any documentation on anybody doing that. They've never been to a train show where there was anybody bringing anything and setting it up. So it's just kind of it's relatively new. And since Kato is mostly an N-scale company, yeah, it's just kind of rare. So that would be kind of interesting to see. Just don't know if maybe they're 2 foot by 2 foot kind of modules instead of 1 by 1 or whatever those are. 18 inches square or something.
They were designed to go together on a tabletop.
Yeah, or just in any combination of, shape. Sort of like a Fremo kind of a setup, but usually like a big loop of some sort. I saw one at the N-scale train show that was in the shape of a cross. So they had a bunch of different turns and twists and modules on that.
Cool.
Yeah.
You gonna be able to do any rail fan during the summer there, Sam?
No, I just made a video like a week ago, less than that, because there was a train and then on a sighting, and then another train like flew by, so I got a video of it, and I just kind of like stopped it, and so that's gonna be an intro for another video, and I don't know what that's yet, but other than that, I haven't seen anything.
Oh, okay.
Because I am the biggest procrastinator in the world.
Tell us about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
There has been, like, I've had my table for, like, my whole layout built for, like, since February. I've done nothing. So,
Yep.
I'm doing great.
Well, the Australians have come to the chat now. Hey, Marty, how you doing? And Big Bill's sitting over
Marty's in the chat. It's time to go to bed.
there. Yeah.
No, we know everything's going to be okay. He's here from tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to get my plug in. So, tomorrow, I'm having a concert at the River Music Experience, Davenport, Iowa. So if any of you guys are in the area, you should come see me play saxophone at Redstone. It's gonna be great. So if you're in the area, come see me.
All right.
That's my plug.
Surprised I don't see Dwight in the chat. Wait, there he is. Way back there.
Yeah, Dwight's in there.
Hi, Dwight. If you're not listening. Oh, there he is. Talking to Martin. Well, I did get some interesting footage of trains while I was in Salt Lake City. I don't know about any of you, but have you ever recorded a drug drop while recording trains?
Recorded a what?
Drug drop.
No.
No. Yeah, that's ought to be kind of cool, but I'd never seen one before either. But I was trying to figure out what was going on when I'm at this railroad crossing at the end of a yard waiting for some trains to come out. And train starts rolling through, and it gets through the gate and everything, so the gates are down, nobody can cross, and this guy on a bike comes up to the crossing guard. He's like, you hear him talking to somebody on his phone, I guess. And he just sits there and waits and waits. And I've got the camera pointed off to my left, and he's off to my right, and just tapping away pictures and everything else. So I figured he was just trying to get to somewhere. And so the train is at the end, and I'm swinging that camera around to the right to watch the crossing guards go up. And the guy starts going across the railroad tracks. There's five tracks right in this spot. There's another guy on the other side of the tracks with a bike. And they meet right there in the middle and swap bikes. And then go back the way they came.
Pedal bicycles or
Yeah.
motorcycles?
Pedal bicycles.
Okay.
And then the guy that I first saw was sitting there fiddling with the bike for like 10 minutes at the crossing guard. He was messing with stuff underneath the seat and everything else. Man, he's pulling drugs. I bet he's just got, dropped off the money to the dealer, and the dealer gave him some drugs or something. And he pedals off. I'm like, he didn't care that I was sitting there recording the whole thing.
Probably didn't even notice.
Yeah, he didn't care. You know, it was just kind of weird.
Yeah, but now he's got your coordinates.
Yeah.
Especially if he's one of the viewers that comes in on the trains here
Nah.
on YouTube Model Builders. Now he knows where you are.
Highly doubt it. That guy's so high. More concerned with something else than getting on a computer.
Maybe he was just talking to himself.
No, he was talking to the guy who gave him the other bike.
Because I talk to myself sometimes. So.
Well,
Do you get answers?
No.
Hey,
I was going to say that explains it.
it's only when you argue with yourself and lose that's when you have a problem.
I usually talk through my problems and I've come up with an answer on my own, but I only hear my own voice. I don't hear somebody else's. So it's like, I don't hear my alter ego, so I know it's really me. No, it isn't. Yes. No, it isn't.
Oh, so looking like you almost got the thing set up right there, Tim. You across?
Yep. Servo's now under the table.
Just need to get the stand locked down so it don't rock back and forth.
Yep.
Right at the end, or just don't let it pull so hard.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to work on right now, is trying to get the amount the servo correct for at the end.
Yeah. Limit the
Well,
movement.
it wasn't pulling it up high enough, and now it's pulling it too high again.
It's hard to get the right angle and distance and everything to make it work right.
Well, especially on one that's scratch built.
Mm-hmm.
Bob, Big Bill says, so Bob, I think you will like the witness protection program. Hold out for the real nice car.
Yeah, yeah. Not that little puny SUV that they try to give that other guy.
Okay, so I have a predicament that I kind of wanted to bring up. Right? So, yeah. My track plan that I'm building calls for number 6 turnout. And I have number 6 turnouts, but it doesn't line up properly. So
Crowbar.
Actually, no, I can't do it. But this is the. You can't see it. Okay. Hold on. Bear with me. Technology is complicated. Right there. You can see the double slip, and then 4 left-hand switches, I believe. And when I take that into real life terms, the double slip, and I put the double slip at the exact angle as it is in the track plan, the turnouts are at an angle in the plan, and in real life the angle is much less
Steeper.
steep. It's less steep.
Oh, less steep.
Can you
But
move your
It depends on
camera?
the plan you made.
Can you move your
Which
camera over where we
brand?
can see what you got going on?
So I don't know if I can do this right or not, but give me a second.
What was the brand of turnout that your track plan used compared to the brand of track that you actually bought?
It says Atlas or Shinohara turnouts, and I have Walther's turnouts.
That's your problem. every manufacturer seems to have a slightly different angle scheme than the other ones.
I thought Walters and Shinohara were the same.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, but if you used Atlas, you got to buy Atlas switches. So I noticed my Atlas versus Pico, for instance, my yard would be completely different angles and everything. You have to use all the same switches in a yard or any kind of switching because your angles would be completely different from your plan and nothing will line up if you plan on having something straight coming out of them.
Okay.
So you just got to modify.
The plan calls for Atlas / Walters or Shinohara, but more than likely the actual diagram in the track plan software was built off of an Atlas turnout.
Okay.
Yeah.
And since you bought the Walters Shinohara, you're going to be a little bit off. It also happens with scale models too on different scales. Because some will actually round down to the 87 instead of 87.1 that HO scale actually is. They'll round it down to the nearest whole number, so you'll have stuff that's not quite to scale. Or even they'll go down to 76, which is actually I think 00, isn't it?
Yep.
So you'll find stuff labeled online for HO scale, but it's actually 176 scale and not HO scale, which is 187.1.
And that's what my Pico or Pico Flex Track. It says 00 and HO on the side. So
that's the track gauge. It's pretty much the same.
Okay.
It's I think the Pico is a little bit tighter, but not enough to actually cause problems.
Okay.
I think a lot of people say that stuff runs better on their Pico.
Okay, so should I just get like Atlas switches or turnouts for the yard and then just use all the Walthers somewhere else, or would anything be different?
Well, you can modify the plan in reality.
Yeah.
To make it fit. You don't
whose make is the double slip?
Walther's Shinohara.
Okay, they should have matched. Unless you say they're number 6s.
Yeah. And
I bet you if you got number 5s, it would probably line up better, which are a little bit more of a divergent angle.
But would like Atlas number 6s have a different angle, or is it all the same?
Yeah,
they could have.
You'd have to have an Atlas double slip too for it to line up properly, probably.
Yeah, they don't make one.
Yeah, and some of your manufacturers actually make an in between route. Like they'll make a 5.5 or a 6.6. It's rare, but there's a few of them out there. I think Atlas actually produced a 4.5 at one time, didn't they? They had a 4 and a 4.5, and then your 6s.
Yeah, that's so.
Walther's
sounds familiar.
Walther's does a 7.5 curved turnout.
Yeah, the only one I know now is Fast Tracks. It's got a 4.5.
Yeah. I still like the idea that Microengineering came out with their yard ladder system. I'd like to give that a try sometime.
Yeah, well, you can do that with any turnout. You can do the same thing, just you make them a little bit shorter.
You just cut them off. But you'll find out you'll have to fudge your plan a little bit even build a track planner, he'll say that. You'll fudge the track plan a little bit just to get something else to fit, or something to fit just right.
Yeah, I'm changing the whole back half of my plan because I'm putting in I'm gonna scratch and build this gigantic building that's like, because near my house there's an Alcoa. It's this gigantic mile-long building. I'm gonna have that on my layout, and I'm gonna have like trains going out of it. Even though I have no idea how to scratch build,
Alcoa likes to have
You're gonna fudge it.
facilities.
yeah.
There's an Alcoa facility not too far from me too, and they like to have real large facilities.
That looks like is that like a granary?
Grain elevator, yeah.
I saw one in Nebraska it had like 12 silos, and it was just huge. And I was like,
there's ones that like 24, 16. You know, there's big ones out west.
yeah.
When I was doing the research on this, trying to figure out how I wanted to build it, there were some really huge ones.
Oh, and these plastic rail joiners.
Insulating joiners, yeah.
Yeah. How do they work?
They just insulate against the electric flow.
If you'll notice, right in the center of it, there's a little plastic pin,
Yeah.
and it keeps the two rail ends from touching each other. So it's like having insulating plastic around a copper wire, basically. So what you want to do in that case, if there's a loop and you have a reverse loop in it, you have to isolate, and that's when you'd use those things.
Okay. But I thought I bought them thinking that they were just like plastic rail joiners that were like clear, so I could just plug it in and it would work. So would I have to like drop feeders on each side of the track and then connect it to a bus line?
Yep.
And that could be part of the reason, if you're using those in your yard ladder system, that could be part of the reason why things aren't lining up, because those actually put a little gap in between the rails where your normal rail joiners won't.
Well,
And they also actually bend a little bit too.
Yeah.
If there's any stress on the rail, it'll bend them out of shape.
Another place they're handy for here is I've built that little bumper right there, and it's all out of brass. So I've got those plastic insulators on it, so it doesn't short across my tracks.
Okay.
I really only needed one, but to get the spacing right, I used one on each side.
You can use them to block out sections of track, like your whole yard could be a district or something like that, so it's completely on a different circuit breaker or something. So you have to isolate that whole section. You put your plastic joiners in on each end of the yard, for instance, so that you can turn off the whole yard, so you don't have all your stuff running. You can actually flip a switch on that if you're wired up right. Nothing's going in there. You don't want all the engines running. They're just sitting there. You turn off your yard. Turn off individual tracks over your yard. But you got to wire up each block. So it's the old DC's system of how they did everything, but you can still do that in DCC as well.
Yeah.
It's just how you want to run your layout and how you want to, keep power from being applied to certain areas.
Are you running DCC?
Yes. And that's another thing that I want to talk about that I also know nothing about. So, this. Okay. So, I don't really know this I get because I want to get. I know that I want to stay in this, but I don't know what to get other than that, because I have a decently sized layout. It's 17 feet by 11 and a half. So what system should I
Are you planning on running sound locomotives?
Yes.
All of them, or are you going to have some without?
I will have all of them with sound.
Okay, so with 17 by 11, you're going to need at least 5 amps of power, especially at the beginning when you turn things on. Unless you have those locomotives on tracks that you can turn the power off to, there's going to be a huge inrush of, or not inrush, draw of power from your system to those locomotives. And if that, I think you'll find about, I think it works out to about between 6 and 8 locomotives with sound is bordering on 5 amps on startup. Under normal conditions, they draw virtually nothing, maybe half an amp, because most decoders are set for 1 amp, and it's a half an amp to, what is it, 1.5 to a stall, and then the decoder will shut itself off.
Yeah, 1.5 maximum current draw, I think, is what most of your decoders are.
And what they mean by stall is if you put your hand in front of the locomotive while it's running, the wheels are still turning, you've stopped it with your hand, and now you start to apply pressure to the top of it. And as soon as the wheels stop is the maximum amperage draw right there. That's how you, and if you have an amp meter, you can determine what the amperage draw is.
That's how you know what kind of decoder to order for your locomotive if you're going to put one.
Nowadays you can't, unless you're in the larger scales for HO, you can't get anything bigger than 1 amp, especially in the sound ones.
What would happen, per se, if too many amps went into a system that couldn't handle it?
Just shuts down.
Yeah, and it also depends on how you wire it. If you put a circuit breaker before your command station, you'll kick out your circuit breaker. If you don't, and it goes all the way back to your command station, it's a complete, the command station will have to completely reboot for you. So you run the risk of possibly losing the locomotive or any kind of, like, all right, if you've got a circuit breaker before it gets to the command station, you overload it, it'll kick out, but on your throttle will never see it. Your throttle will just, basically the locomotive will stop. If you don't have a circuit breaker before the command, or after the command station, but before the track, when the locomotive, say, overloads it, or you have a short, or you say your train jumps a frog, it'll make your throttle will go dark, and it'll have to restart as if you plugged it right back into the wall.
Yep.
And what may happen is the engine may take off before your throttle's booted up. But that's very rare that it might happen. But if it's still sitting in the command.
So why do you think you're going to get too many amps?
Well, I have an engine that I think is too big for my system that I have now, which is basically the simple starter set, the 2 amp one, I think it's 2 amp one. But it's basically just the standard starter set. And I have an engine, and it's only this one that whenever it moves, it'll move about an inch, and it'll just short out. And my throttle doesn't know anything; it stays on, and my module, this thing, the light stays on, and it just it's almost like it just stopped working. So, problem.
Judging by the faceplate, it looks like you got NCE.
Yes.
Power cab.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it is 2 amps or 2.5 amps.
Yeah, you need to move to a pro cab setup. A little more amps.
although you could be having problems with that decoder, is it
Yeah.
brand new?
When this started happening, it was 6 months to a year old.
Okay, so maybe the wheels are dirty.
It has some dirt in the ears too.
Or the track is dirty.
I cleaned my track. This is easy
So,
track.
okay, that's okay. When this happens, do the lights on the locomotive go out?
Yes, and the sound cuts out and everything just stops working.
Okay, so you're having a pickup problem. It sounds like,
That
or it's overloading the decoder.
Yeah, which could be like the motor's locking, getting hung for a gear problem or something.
Well, it's like
Who makes the engine?
Broadway Limited.
Broadway. Oh, okay.
And it's
Broadway Limited.
Clean
Part
the
of their
wheels
repair
real
time.
good and try it again, see if that helps. Then go further into it.
On your power cab, you can set it so you can see the amperage, the track amperage draw.
Yeah.
Take a look at it when it starts acting up. If you notice your amperage goes down, then you've got you'll have a pickup problem. You're not the locomotive's not pulling anything off the track anymore. Start there. I mean, Broadway Limited. It's kind of
Pretty reliable.
Yeah, it's very reliable. I mean, but they can get emotional quick.
Okay, this happens, and it's the only locomotive on the track.
It's the only locomotive on the track. I did have a time where every single locomotive that I had was doing it. Then I cleaned my track, and then it fixed all of it except for this locomotive.
Yeah, could be the wheels
Clean the
Pickup
wheels.
problem.
or some electrical pickup from the wheels.
Because it doesn't matter, like, I want to say it doesn't matter where it is on the track, but it varies between it'll move an inch and it'll just cut out and then it done, and then I have to move it back to the original spot and it'll start up again and it'll go and it'll stop at that point. Then other times it'll go halfway around or it'll go all the way around. It'll stop at a place that was perfectly fine before. So it just varies.
Was the sound on?
Yes.
Try doing it without the sound on, because that may be drawing a little bit too much amperage.
Yeah. F8 may turn off the sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There could be some capacitor or something like that. It's just not holding, the state keep alive or something like that that's in there. Just ain't doing its job. So it could be just a, blown out decoder.
But could it also be like my track? Because my track is also, it varies in age. Because some of it is 8 years old and then some of it is 2 years.
If that's the only engine that runs bad on that whole track, that's the engine.
Yeah.
If everything else runs fine, then it's not your track.
How old is that engine?
Well, it's the Paragon 3 S3, the 262 It's I believe this was the first run, so 2016, I think. So 2 years.
If you can get it to run, like to start up and not move, and you've got sound going, push the F10 key. And depending on the decoder that they used, I have a Broadway Limited Mikado, and if I push the F10 key as I go around, it will actually tell me what the voltage is on the track at that point. And it'll just read out a number. So if it's not getting the right voltage, that may be the problem. If it's the proper decoder, it'll tell you. It'll read out a number to you.
So it's probably a pickup problem, or it's like not getting what it needs, and then
Yeah.
science, electricity and stuff.
Yeah. It's most likely the decoder or the pickup.
I kind of think it's the pickup, Spun.
Yeah.
Like
That's the
it's
first thing to look at.
it's a diesel, right? You said it's a diesel.
No, it's a steam locomotive.
Oh, okay. So you have to look at where the pickups are, and if they're actually making proper contact with. I don't think they did it on the wheel rim. They did it on the back of the wheel, or possibly on the axle itself.
It's probably on the tender
Yeah.
where all
So-
the electrical pickup is.
What would it? Is it like the brass?
Yeah, the bronze
Part?
pieces that are touching the wheels. Those are the pickups.
I have it, so maybe.
It looks so small back there.
Thanks.
Now you got your hands full. How are you going to get that thing open?
Just watch.
Oh, okay.
He put
Sit
it down.
I am witchcraft.
Oh, pardon me. Look out.
Wait. Forgot how to work it. Aha. Okay. So it's the bronze part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if one of
And
them,
one truck is going to pick up the right side, and the other truck is going to pick up the left side because your wheels are insulated across the axle.
okay. So if something is not touching the axle, then that's my problem.
If you yeah, that's right. If you can take the wheels out, possibly, or take the wheels out and bend that bronze down towards where the axle would be. When you put the wheels back in again, it'll apply a little bit more pressure on the axle.
Okay.
And then if that's not it, you got to check the other inside of that where the wire is connected to
Where the
that
wires-
brass.
Yep.
You know, do you have a disconnect, something loose? You know, depends on how they put it together on the inside.
Now, when this goes off like that, is it on a straight or is it on a curve? Or going from the curve to the straight, or vice versa?
Again, it varies.
It doesn't matter.
Well, if it could be a loose wire that when it deviates from straight, it disconnects, or vice versa.
there is a thing that looks kind of strange and is scaring me.
It's scary.
Yes. I can't seem to find it though. But one of these wires looks kind of funky. So would that be?
Could be.
It could have a break inside the wire.
Is it pinched? Looks like it's pinched.
Flattened out a bit? Flattened out?
It looks like, I don't know if I can get it close enough, but it.
It's,
Like, hold on.
your
Right.
light's gonna bleed out.
Put your hand behind it. Put your hand behind it.
There you go.
There's one of them that looks a little looser on the plug than the others. I believe is the. Ooh, it's really oily.
That would make a difference too. It's not
Oh,
making
yeah.
proper contact.
Well, the oil will short it out.
Really greasy.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's coming up off the wheels.
I just unplugged it from
You just got too much
It's coming-
oil on the wheels, and they sling it up on the plug.
Or it's the motor, the lubrication of the motor is spreading out.
Yeah.
It's running down the wires.
Need to clean it with alcohol.
Yeah, rubbing alcohol.
It's the one farthest to the left. I don't know if you can see it. My camera's cooperative.
What color is the wire by chance?
They're all black.
They're all black.
Cool.
Yeah.
Welcome to Broadway Limited.
I know,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
I mean, like,
What was it? They didn't follow the NMRA wire collaring convention that was put out.
Oh, they probably did when you go look at the connections to the motor and so on.
On the
It's
inside
that
of the.
on the inside. It's where it goes from the tender to the cab of the locomotive that they didn't want funky colors in there. They just wanted it black. It's less.
Obvious.
It doesn't stick out as much.
Yeah.
Then you take and use NMRA, but you put a black heat shrink across it, so for diagnostic purposes, you can tell what wire is loose.
Yep. The black heat
Also,
shrink right
also,
away.
Sam, have you got hobby shops around you?
yeah. Well, one like a half hour away.
You might want to call them, see if they got anybody there that does repairs, and just take it in to them if they do, and let them check it out, clean it up for you.
Okay. There's mine. I don't know whether you can see that. So I've taken the top of the caboose off, or the tender off. I don't think I have as many wires in mine. But this is also Broadway Limited.
Is yours Paragon 2 or Paragon 3?
I don't think this is either. This is QSI.
Oh, that's like Blue Line, which is before both of those.
Well, no,
But-
Blue Line was just a sound decoder,
Right.
no motion decoder.
Well, I got the wheel out, but I can't get it back in.
The wipers probably caused the problems.
Yeah, could be.
Broadway
Send it back
Limited
for warranty repair.
works.
So you have double, mine's a single.
Okay.
So obviously your tender's bigger than this one, so.
Oh, the other one came out. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Falling
That's
apart.
there's probably the problem. Loose wire.
Where's my
If
screwdriver?
it pulled out, it's
Well, the wheel just kind of came out because I was trying to pop the thing out to get the wheel in, and it kind of came out.
And all the other wheels came out.
oh. He said the yellow wire come out. I was like, well,
There's a problem. But did it work?
that's one of the electrical tests we do in the mechanic industry. Is you do a tug test on your wires and see if they pull out of the connector.
I think it's in, but I don't know.
I think these connectors are kind of sealed with the wires in them, so they're not push pins.
You like to think so because they go in and out more than once.
Well, no, they've got a lock in the connector on the pin. They got a lock on to keep you from pulling them out. Sometimes those locks get damaged,
Oh no.
or they
Something
can, or they got messed up at the factory.
came off. I don't know what it was. It might have been a piece of plastic. Second cost. Oh, still popped out of place.
Good thing you got the rest of your life to put that thing back together. Call this a learning experience.
The first one's always the hardest. Once you've taken it apart, and my one piece of advice to you, being not so far from beginner, take pictures. A lot of pictures, because when you go to reassemble, if for some reason you can't you always got a point of reference.
Yeah, I took apart an old Athearn Blue box, and then because I have like 3 F units, I took one apart, and I took another one apart, and I took all the parts from the other one and put it in the other one. If that makes sense. But I did that, and it worked. So that's my first step. But then I put the trucks on backwards, so it's kind of funky when it goes around and turns. So, yeah.
No, you're allowed to make mistakes.
Yeah, it's like a saying I just saw here a couple weeks ago. If you're not making mistakes, you're not trying.
True.
Yeah, that's what Sparky said. Shout out to Sparky 107. He has live chats every Wednesday night. You should go there. Check it out. 7 p.m. Eastern, I think. Hold on. I think. But yeah, go Southern. He said on his live chat, he's right, but it was funny because I made a video earlier that day about like painting my layout, and I was just sitting there talking, and I had a quart of paint. I was like, there's no way all this paint is going to cover my whole thing. And then finish the whole layout with that quart of paint.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'll tell you what, we done come up on the hour 19, 20 minute mark. So I guess we'll wrap this one on up so everybody can finish their week out tomorrow at work before we have to wake Bob up to go to bed. So
where's Mark when we need him?
Yeah. Let's see here. There we go. Well, so go to YouTubeMallBuilders.com. There you can check schedules for the shows. Tuesday, Wednesday shows are at 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Thursday show is at 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. The next show coming up will be July the 10th. That is going to be the Fine Scale Build show. Andy and his crew are going to have Phil Wyman on. They're going to do a thing on making bushes and all. So it'll be a good show. Then the show after that will be, July the 18th. And that's Who's Big Bill talking to. And he'll have Ron Perry on that show. So you want to stay tuned for that and see what they have to say. With that said, have a good weekend, and we shall catch you next week in July for the Thursday Johnny Small Train Talk Show. That's the only show we got scheduled for next week. All right, see you then. Have a good weekend.
Night, John.
Bye.
Night.